Peyton Manning is a touchdown machine. Peyton Manning is now number 3 all-time for throwing at least 20 touchdowns and 10 consecutive seasons. Number 1 is Brett Favre. That's our producer and director and editor, Alan Carlton. That's his favorite guy. And number 2 is Dan Marino. Right. So that's pretty good company. Now,
at the end of the season, you know who it's going to be. It's going to be Tom Brady. It's
no, well, Tom Brady is ranked number 5 with 6 consecutive seasons from 2002 until 2007. So he's got a pretty good chance of at least keeping the streak alive.
He's going to shatter everything this year. I mean, the way he was throwing touchdowns at the beginning, people, New England's kind of slowing up. So, I mean, yeah.
I know. He wants them to run the table. I'm looking.
They're
going
to run the table. They're just not gonna. They're not gonna pull that assault that they've been pulling on people at the beginning of the year when they were scoring practically at will.
But you know what? Me and that lady from in the beginning of the segment about the Colt question, we're gonna get them because we need somebody to take them down.
That lady's a hitman.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Speaking of Hitman, the movie, I played the video, but never mind. We were talking about Madden earlier, and if anybody knows, Wes Welker is a killer in the slot.
Anyway, listen, last Monday night, not this Monday night, but the Monday night before, Pittsburgh played Miami, and they omitted the national anthem. Ooh. So we asked people out on the street if the national anthem should be played before every game, and this is what they had to say.
It should be played. Yeah. I mean, there was a time when I didn't stand up for it because I didn't like what was going on in the country. But now, even though I don't like what's going on out of the country, we should stand up because there's been too many bombs, too many suicide things. We need to stand up.
Well, I do. I think it's a tradition, and the reason that it wasn't played, I really don't know why.
I think they had technical difficulty. The game's delayed a half hour.
Oh, because it was raining like hell down there. I do believe the national anthem should be done before sports games. If it only takes us one time a day or one time we're at a sporting event to remember that we're Americans, it's a pleasure to be American.
It's a tradition in most sports, so I can understand why they didn't do it in Pittsburgh because that's just that's a special circumstance. But it should be played. It's been played forever, so why stop now?
Okay. Yes, I do because that represents America.
Okay. The national anthem should be said at every game, no matter what it is. Any kind of game, any kind of sport, it should be said.
All right.
I don't think it should be played at all, and if it does, I ain't going to stand. Not for what this country represents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why wouldn't it be played at all sporting events?
Yes, I do, because I'm a vet, and I'm an American citizen. Why not?
Well, there you have it. There's some people that say no, and I'm a vet, so I think it should be played before, during, and sometimes after.
I mean, I am of the side of saying yes because I'm also a vet and an American citizen.
You're a veterinarian?
Well, I can take care of Georgia. She's normally coming up here, and, I've got the little kibbles and bits for her, and she's all right. But look, play it. It's a tradition. If you don't want to stand, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to hold that against you. You don't have to stand, but for those who
just don't come by me during the game.
If those who want to show reverence want to do so, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, if it wasn't for this country, I mean, you couldn't go to a ball game. You couldn't say, the president is a bum. You couldn't say, no, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that. With laws, I mean, we all have our differences, and that's what it's about. It's about telling people what's on your mind, and this country allows you to do that. So, I mean, you have a right to not to stand, but to be honest, it's that flag that gives you the right to have your opinion.
That's key. That is key, folks. And, man, you know what it's like to stand and before a game, because I played, organized sports over the years, and, that's a time to reflect, and after it's finished, it's like, yeah, let's go man, just kill him. I don't. That didn't come out right, did it? That didn't come out right.
Yeah,
that didn't come out right. That's because I played a lot of football, folks. Okay, that's from the days of the leather helmets.
He was hit too many times in the head. but listen, well, let's see. Who do we have to talk about left? Because I mean, we touched on baseball.
Mm-hmm.
We've touched on football.
Mm-hmm. We did the basketball to open up.
Let's touch on basketball again.
We want to touch on basketball again. Right now, the Boston Celtics are running amok in the East.
All right, that's enough of basketball.
What? Come on, man. Am I going to talk about the Knicks? What am I going to look? Look, man. I get agita thinking about the Knicks. Look, they hurt my heart because look, you think about it. You folks, look. You seen the thing in the newspaper about the Knicks' angriest fan? The guy threw his jersey on the court when they were losing by 50.
That was at a Celtic game.
That was at he took. Look, I read the article. The guy took the road trip from New York with a nephew of his up to the game. They had courtside seats. They were watching the game. He had a bet with Seeger, the on-air analyst. And hey, when it got to the crowd was saying, "Hey, throw it, throw it." He threw it. And you know what? I'm with him. Come on now. The Knicks got to do better than that. They got to show better effort than that.
To say you're a Knicks fan these days, it's I mean that's almost like taking your life into your hands. I mean,
oh man, do we need to call suicide prevention?
You go out there and
you heard what Charles Barkley said.
You're just a big target.
You heard what Charles Barkley said. Charles Barkley said, "Thank God that they're only going to be on national TV once this year."
Yeah, well,
Reggie Miller has ripped in. Look, you know what? For pro sports, you know what? I hate to say this, folks, but when pro sports is thriving real good and things is good, the New York teams are doing good. Like my Rangers. Let's go Rangers.
We do have good news for you. We haven't covered hockey yet because hockey's beginning and it's an 82-game preseason. Yeah. Before they get to the real season. Into the real season.
Well, the postseason is always the real season, but you got to get to the postseason in order to get to the real season.
Everybody in the NHL gets to the real season. But the good news is that this week we have nobody on the sports blotter
to lock up. They have been good out there. Yeah. See, I said I want to lock up.
At least the athletes have been good.
I want to lock up the 4 guys who did the transgression against Mr. Sean Taylor. But as we've discussed before, they're innocent until proven guilty.
That's right.
And let justice run its course, and I hope they nail them.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion. And see, you're allowed your opinion.
See, that's why we love this country.
You're allowed.
Oh, beautiful horseman. Okay.
That's another show.
I'm too old for American Idol?
You're too old for anything, any kind of idol. Anyway, listen, it's been great. And don't forget to watch our show next week when we show you Juan Laporte's gym, and we give you a little insight on what this gym does for the community, because this is a Bronx sports show, and we do talk about national sports and stuff like that, but it's all about the kids getting into education, because not everybody can play Major League Ball or box professionally or whatever kind of sport you do, but it's about kids. So please, try to lend support to that gym. If you know where it is, and if you don't know where it is, please write us our email and or our MySpace. It's on Yahoo, and you'll see it after the show. And by the way, our picks are coming up, so stay tuned and get a good seat.
Jets can beat an 0-11 team. That's it. Yeah, it makes no difference. Come on.
What about Mancini? Doing a good job?
No. No, I think they will. I won't.